Okay, I've loaded my first game in ChessBase, as in historical game that I have, from Rome 1560. So white was Roy Lopez, or rather Lopez de Segura, and his first name Roy. So his opponent was Leonardo Giovanni. So according to the World of Chess by Sadie and Lessing, basically between 1560 and 1590, the two leading Italian players were Giovanni, Leonardo. So that's the opponent playing black here, and Paolo Boi, B-O-I. So Leonardo was slower and more careful, and Boi was faster and more brilliant, and they both excelled in blindfold play. So in 1574 they visited Spain to play against Roy Lopez and Alfonso Serron, proving their superiority in a number of matches played before King Philip II. So basically this is one of those encounters. So Roy Lopez, he was white, and he didn't play knight f3, he played actually the King's Gambit in this particular game. After d6, so the gambit was declined, he played bishop c4, black played c6, now knight f3 was played, and then the slightly weak move bishop g4, which allows a good tactic straight in the opening. After f takes, d takes. Although the knight is pinned, there's a nifty tactic here. I hope you can spot it. I'll give you 5 seconds, starting from now. Okay, the tactic is bishop takes f7, check. So after king takes, there's knight takes e5, check. So temporarily breaking the pin, but with check. So king e8, queen takes g4. So white's gained material and a winning position. The game ended like this: knight f6, check. Queen e6 with check. Queen e7, check, forcing the queen back. And now, can you see how white finished off rather elegantly? I'll give you another 5 seconds here. White simply took on d8, and after king takes d8, played knight f7 check. So nice little tactics, and that's Rome 1560. And that's the first game I've got in my chess database. In chessgames.com they have some other examples, well, 3 other game examples from around this era. So really, because there aren't actually that many game examples, we can't really say that these games had a big influence. I think it was mainly Greco was the first major influence, in terms of tactics and exploiting the power of the queen, in the openings. So let's have a look at a few more Greco examples, because they're much more readily available. But this is the earliest game that I'm ever going to present to you, probably, for chess in its modern form. So this is Greco against someone no name. So we don't really know if these games, they could be made up for all we know. They could be analysis. But it's placed at around Europe, in Europe 1620, these games. So after c3, knight f6, d4, bishop b6, there was an early tactical disaster now. After d takes e4, black played knight takes e4, and can you spot the next move? I'll give you 5 seconds, starting from now. Okay, queen d5. In fact, I might turn on Rybka just to make sure that this is absolutely the case. This is the case. Rybka gives, well, the knight and f7 are a double attack, so Rybka gives bishop takes f2, and after king e2, then black, is massively disadvantaged. He's going to have to protect f7, white takes on e4, whole piece up for ready, nothing much. Let's move on to another game example. So another very short and sweet game, which is, makes Greco's games ideal for, simple tactical study. So h3 was played by white, a bit of a slow move which doesn't really contribute to development, but it does help prepare a subtle trap. After c3, black played knight takes e4, and can you see what white played here if I give you 5 seconds starting from now? Okay, queen a4 check, just double attack tactic. So check to the king and also picking up the knight. So say, knight c6, just take the knight. There's not really any black compensation. Black's just a piece down. So black resigned there. Next. So basically, after bishop g4 here, h3, white got the light squared bishop. Now we see queen b3. This is reminiscent of the classic Morphy game, though, with the queen f3 and queen b3. And this was played in 1620. So if people say to you that, you know, the early, you know, tactical games that they know about is Morphy, well, you know, you can tell them now that actually Greco predates Morphy, and, you know, there's a lot of, you know, quick tactical wins. So knight c3, c6. And now, you know, another theme reminiscent of that famous Morphy game against the Duke of Brunswick in the opera is this diagonal being exploited. White plays a nice move here, and it's quite subtle. I wonder if you can spot it if I give you 5 seconds. Rybka likes it too. Okay, the move is knight d5. So now if cd, bishop takes d5, and this rook is lost. It's got nothing to do with bishop b5 check here. So bishop takes d5, just targeting the rook. So I gave you a misleading clue about that diagonal. But in the game, queen d8, and now the niftiness increased of white's tactical play. Can you spot white's next move? If I give you 5 seconds. Okay, knight takes b6, because after queen takes, there's bishop takes f7, picking up this poor knight on g8. And now after d5, white simply took on d5, allowing queen takes, and his bishop wasn't trapped, because now, can you see it? How the bishop's coming out? White played d takes c6 check. So after knight takes, the bishop came out, getting back the queen, and then black resigned. So these are very short and sweet games. Here's a longer game example. So King's Gambit with white sacking on f7 now. So this seems a bit more unsound. So 2 pieces sacrificed. King being dragged up the board. And a very violent opening indeed. So with the king exposed, castles. So white's 2 pieces down. But this is, you know, quite reminiscent of the, you know, the Romantic era of chess. But this is 1620. So rook f6 here. The king's going further up the board, even further. Check, b4 check, queen c4 check, and now knight a4 mate. So another sweet game, but a bit more violent, a bit more unsound than the others. So let's have a look at this one, the French defence, an example, but knight f6 being played instead of d5. Now knight c6. So people didn't really know much opening theory, but e5, you know, dislodging that important defender of h7. Oops, and bishop takes h7 was played now. So we see the kind of Greek gift mechanism at work here. Bishop takes g5, then the rook file is going to be opened. So this is what actually occurred. Because otherwise, for example, king h6, well, there's knight takes e6 winning the queen. And king g6, there's queen d3, and this is also crushing, because after takes, there's now, in this position, according to Rybka, queen f3, check, and we go back to that horrible state where the king's on that diagonal. But here, because the white queen's under fire, the crushing move here is queen e4 threatening mate on g6 and also h7. So if black has to stave off that mate, then again we have this mechanism to win the black queen with knight e6. So that's crushing. But taking the rook first here, then taking the queen. But let's go back to the actual game. So knight d5, so bishop h7. So they had these tactics in 1620. This is the incredible thing. This is absolutely incredible. You know, the rook file's been, you know, used. Queen h5, king f5. The king's, you know, being sucked up the board. Check. King e4. Now queen d3 mate. Another very pretty game. We go next. So Owen's defence, an early Owen defence, and this time white sets up a big centre, a very big centre with the 4 pawns. Now e5, now g4. rather rash play, but it ends up a quick knockout of that h4 as well. Someone's playing like me for some reason in 1620. So h5, ripping open the h file again. Queen e2, and now there's the idea of queen h2 with h7 being vulnerable. So queen h2, b takes c3, taking the knight, but getting mated.